Just a few hours before the crude oil tanks derailed in Galena, Illinois yesterday afternoon, La Crosse Emergency Management says those same cars likely traveled through La Crosse. The train was carrying more than 100 cars of crude oil when it derailed. Now local officials are taking another look at their plan of action. News 8's Brittany Schmidt explains.
Lisa, the train derailment in Galena, Illinois happened in a rural area near where the Galena and Mississippi rivers meet. No one was injured, but officials did have a voluntary evacuation in order. I talked to La Crosse County Emergency Management today, who say if this type of accident occurred within the city limits of La Crosse, people would be forced to evacuate.
If that happened here in La Crosse, it'd be an awful, awful circumstance.
When news of the train derailment in Galena, Illinois crossed Keith Butler's desk, a sense of curiosity and urgency took over.
I've certainly taken a look at those particular tracks, and that particular train had probably passed through La Crosse just a few hours before it derailed there.
Leaving Butler wondering what went wrong.
Were there a problem with the tracks there? Was there a problem with the train?
And wondering if that train, carrying more than 100 cars of crude oil, could have derailed here.
Some of those same circumstances exist here. There's a lot of that railroad track that's right next to the Mississippi River, and there's a hunk of it that's out in marsh and some very difficult area to get to. I understand they had to use snowmobile trails or bike trails to get to the Galena incident. Well, we have those same kind of problems here.
And with the recent agreement between the city and BNSF for a second rail line through La Crosse next year, Butler is working on creating a precautionary evacuation plan for the area.
This is a very unique area.
Let's step back and take a closer look at what happened in Galena. Because the derailment happened in a rural area, officials enacted a voluntary evacuation plan, which spanned about a half a mile around the derailment. Now let's compare that to La Crosse and what that same derailment would look like here.
Well, a mile either side of the railroad tracks in La Crosse is pretty extensive.
The yellow shaded area represents a mandatory evacuation about a half a mile away from the railroad tracks.
If that were a mile, it would actually go almost through Viterbo, UWL, approaching downtown area, and going the other way, you hit the bluffs. The only way they can get out of there is to go down and cross the tracks.
It's these types of scenarios Butler and his team at Emergency Management are trying to work out so that if something happened here, they would be prepared.
We're just learning about where the challenges are, where the pinch points are, and where the restrictions are to traffic movement.
2 firefighters from La Crosse did go to Galena to assist with the train derailment. Because of the agreement between BNSF and the city, the La Crosse Fire Department is home to equipment used to fight flammable oil fires. The firefighters took a trailer carrying about 500 gallons of foam to Galena to help put out the fire. One of the division chiefs has been in contact with the 2 firefighters who say the experience at the derailment is similar to what they've been doing at training.
Sometimes the training and the experience are 2 very different things. So it's good to know that the training that we got with BNSF is something that's going to really be relevant to what we're doing in case of an event in this area.
Those 2 firefighters are expected to be back in La Crosse tonight. The department will have a meeting to go over their experience in Galena to see if they can improve on their own preparedness here in La Crosse.
Thank you so much, Brittany. The Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad did release a statement today that says, quote, "We are grateful for the efforts of the first responders at this incident and sincerely regret the inconvenience this event has caused to the community. The cause of the derailment is still under investigation."